Welcome to LDI 4.10 or 4.10. In this LDI, we're going to take another look at using our random number generator, and we're going to let it help us create a distribution, and then we'll try and do a little bit of description of what that distribution looks like. Okay? So, a quick reminder again of what we mean by a distribution. A distribution of a variable provides the possible values that a variable can take on and how often these possible values occur. The distribution of a variable shows the pattern of variation of the variable. All right. So let's go make a set of data. The variable here is just going to be random numbers. Okay. And we're going to use our calculator to generate the numbers, and then once we've generated those, we'll go ahead and form a plot of those data. Okay. And they ask us actually to construct a frequency plot for the resulting integers. So let's take a look and see if we can do that. Okay. All right, so first step here is to get our calculator out, and we need to go into math, go into probability, and set our random seed to the number that they want us to do here. So actually I'm getting a little ahead of myself because I got to build that command with the random seed. So let's back up for just a second here. The random seed, or the starting seed that they want us to use, is a value of 22. Okay. So what I need to do is let's start over here, go ahead and do a second quit, get back out to the home screen, and let's put 22 in first, hit the store key. Now we'll go to math, go to probability, go to rand. Okay, so that says take 22 and store it into rand, which tells your calculator I want you to basically start at that position in the random number table that's stored in the calculator. Okay. So you hit an enter, and it just comes back with 22, and that's all good. All right, so now we all got our calculator set to the same position in that random number table. Now, what random numbers do they want us to generate? Well, they want us to generate 50 random integers between 1 and 10. Okay, so let's go do that. So to do that, we need to go back into the math menu, go back over to probability, and we're going to use option number 5 here, which is randint for random integer generator. And we want to take and generate random integers between 1 and 10. Okay. And I want to make 50 of those. So we hit a comma, we type in 50, and then close off that parenthesis. Okay. Now you don't want to hit enter yet, because if you do that, it's just going to spew the 50 numbers to the home screen, and it'll be very difficult to work with there. Instead, to make our life easy, what we're going to do is press stow, and we press stow, and then we're going to hit second and the 1 to get L1. So now the command we've built says, I want you to generate random integers between 1 and 10. I want 50 of those, and I want you to store those into L1. Okay. Now, just in case you didn't notice, down here are my keystrokes, and keep showing you the key press history, so you can go back and look at this and follow the keys stroke by stroke that I'm using. All right. Okay, so let's hit an enter. And voila, they're here on the home screen. And like I said, you can see them. They're very difficult to do anything with. Okay. All right. So better would be to go stat, go to edit, and you go, aha! They're the same numbers in L1. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Because now I can do something really nice, which is I can sort those numbers. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back into stat. Let's go to option number 2 for sort ascending, and then hit a second and a 1 for L1, close off our parentheses, and hit an enter. And it just says done. And what that did, if you go back into the stat menu now, go to edit, is notice it sorted our numbers. Okay. Oops, I'm in the wrong row here. Let's go to the right column here. Okay. And so now you can scroll down, and you can see the values, the quantity of the values for each of these following digits. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is show you how to do a frequency plot. I'm just going to go and hack one out here for you. I'd ask that you do these a little cleaner. Probably going to see me do it, but as a frequency plot sometimes is affectionately referred to as cocktail napkin stats. In other words, it could be done on the back of a cocktail napkin and just fine. So I'm going to get my calculator out of the way here, but I'm going to still keep it out where I can see it because I'm going to need those numbers. Okay. And we'll go ahead and generate a new fresh screen for you here. Okay, and I gotta shrink down my window a bit so I can see the other one. There we go. Okay, so I'll go ahead and make an x-axis here for you. Okay. And now what I need to do is label my x-axis with the numbers 1 through 10 on it. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so notice across here, these are my random digits. So I'm going to go ahead and label this axis what it is. These are my random numbers. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go above each one of these values here, and I'm going to stack x's above them. Okay, so how many x's do I need to stack above the 1? Well, it looks like I'm going to stack 2 of them here. Okay, so this is going to be a little tricky, but you'll see how I'm going to do this. It's a little different because of the way I'm using the tool I'm using here to do it. Okay, so there are my 2 x's. So let's go ahead and move those down over the top of the 1 because that's a height of 2, right? Because I had a frequency of 2 of those. Okay, now on the 2's, looks like we had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there were 8 2's. Okay. So now we've got to make 8 2's. So let's do that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, didn't quite get it stacked in the right spot, but that's okay. No, just these guys. There we go. Okay, we'll put those there. All right. Hopefully you're getting the idea how I'm doing this, but that's the basic idea how you build a frequency plot. Okay. Now, you could do yours typing them out like I've typed mine, or you can do them on a piece of graph paper and X in the cells. That works out really well too. Or worst case, you can sketch this by hand. But think about one of the things you're supposed to be learning in this class is how to produce good graphs. Okay. All right. For the 3, we're going to get 2 values there. Okay. So we've got 2 x's there. Okay. So let's see if I can do that. Stack those at the top of the 3. Okay. On the 4, looks like we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And we'll stack those all nice and pretty down over here at the top of the 4. Got the 6 coming out gorgeous. It's actually coming way better than I even thought it was going to come out. Okay, let's see how many 5s we got here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 6 5s. Okay, so let's go make 6 5s. Hopefully you're getting the idea of this. If you got something more important to do and you need to go do it now, I would forgive you shutting this off. It's not the most exciting thing to watch me do this, but you do want to come back and possibly go scroll this thing forward to get to the punchline. Okay. Okay. So let's see how many 6's we've got. We've got 1, 2, got 2 6's. Okay. So put our 2 beautiful 6's down right there. Okay. How many 7's do we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 7's. Okay. Okay, so there are 6 7's. Let's stack those bad boys right there. Okay, almost home. We just got a couple more numbers to go here. Let's see how many 8's we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like 5 8's. Okay. Okay, so there are the 5 8's. Okay, and then the 9's, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This looks like 7 on the 9's. Okay, so let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 7 9's, okay, and then let's see how many 10's we've got here, alright? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like we got 7 tens also, right? Okay. Okay. All right. Look at my glorious. Actually, this thing came out much. This is much prettier than I even suspected it was going to come out. So, alrighty then. There we go. All right. That's our beautiful frequency plot that we now have made. And the thing that you want to notice here is that there really isn't much of a pattern. Now, if you think about it for a second, before we even started this whole process, we could have predicted that if these numbers were randomly selected between 1 and 10 with equal frequency, then they all had to be about the same height. So what you see here is that obviously the 1, the 3, and the 6, they got kind of shortchanged, but in general, most of the pattern shows that the numbers are coming out with about the same frequency, okay? This is very typical of what you would see when you select data from a uniform distribution. This distribution would definitely, if we go back and talk about our shapes, would qualify as a uniform distribution. So our data appear to be uniformly distributed. That's the punchline, okay? And the model that we would use to show this data, if we were actually to construct one, is that the model would look not quite unlike, but similar to, if you recall from the previous LDI, or if you've looked at that LDI talking about shapes yet, looks something like that, okay? In other words, it looks kind of, we affectionately call it the brick, okay? And that the frequencies are all equal. So that's how we would, the model we would choose, or the shape that we would choose to describe this. Okay, well, there's a lot of stuff going on in that LDI. Hopefully you picked up how to do some of the stuff, and we'll see you all back here soon.